Alright, on this day, February 14th, 2025, it is Lara Croft's 57th birthday. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Happy birthday, Lara Croft. And we finally got Tomb Raider 4, 5, and 6 remastered by Aspyr and Saber Interactive again, just like they did with Tomb Raiders 1, 2, and 3. Let's talk about it. While Tomb Raider 4, 5, and 6 aren't the most beloved of these series of core design Tomb Raider games, the most high praise going to Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3, of course, 4, 5, and 6 aren't really terrible or bad at all. I personally loved Angel of Darkness when it came out, and that was the black sheep and the most hated of the entire series. And once again, though, Saber Interactive and Aspyr have done a bang-up job with these remasters. Visually, they are just as stunning as 1, 2, and 3, though the biggest complaint that I have here with 1, 2, and 3 and 4, 5, and 6 is that they're a bit too dark. From this footage that you guys can see switching back and forth between the classic and the remastered, although the remastered lighting looks really good and it makes perfect sense for these dark, dank tombs that you raid and explore, the classic visuals are brighter, they're a little bit more abstract. They've got that retro love of the PlayStation 1 that's come back within recent years. And while the new visuals are very, very pretty, I find myself switching back between the new and the classic more often than I think a player should when playing these remasters. Granted, I am a blind man and I do have a problem seeing, so that might be a problem with it in being too dark for me. Maybe I'm crazy. What do you guys think between these visual changes here with the lighting specifically? Again, it's not bad lighting. It works. It makes perfect sense for these remasters and for exploring tombs, but they're just way too dark for me, in my opinion. And I kind of wish that Saber/Aspyr kind of went a little bit more abstract with their thinking of their lighting and gone, the idea that it's a dark shadow and not actually a dark shadow. Though it is, again, cool that we have real lighting and real shadows this time rather than, baked in textures like before. Now, gameplay-wise, these are the exact same classic Tomb Raider games that you've played a billion times before. Or, if you're new to this series, then these are puzzle platforming games with some minor combat and, just general exploration. You feel like a Tomb Raider, I said the thing. The gameplay here is really challenging, especially coming back to these games, 25 years after the fact. But Angel of Darkness is the one that I think received the most love. Tomb Raider 4 and 5, Last Revelation and Chronicles respectively, still retain their classic gameplay. Angel of Darkness is the one that really needed all the love, and it got it by simply changing the controls. With these controls, you have the classic tank controls, and then you have modern day controls. I personally played these remasters with the modern controls. I think they're perfectly fine. They are a bit finicky now and again, but they're a solid option.
And no one knows where he is.
What do you need with a dangerous individual like Bouchard?
I'm trying to track down a friend's movements.
Lost, is he?
Dead. But he made contact with Bouchard before he...
I really don't understand the hate for the modern controls. I get it. The games are built around this grid tank control system. The modern day controls, they do take a bit getting used to, but once you've gotten used to them, I don't really see you switching back. I know I never will. But back to Angel of Darkness, the modern controls save this game. Angel of Darkness is already sort of clunky like all of these classic Tomb Raider games are, but I'm telling you guys, just changing the controls to where Lara can do a full 360 turn run without having to, swivel around is a godsend for Angel of Darkness. Now, Angel of Darkness does have its own set of flaws in being it's less of a Tomb Raider game and more of a weird, I don't know what they were really going for. I can't even explain it. But it's the most different out of all the Tomb Raider games. You've got this weird murder mystery thing going on. You have kind of investigator mode where you go around and talk to people to dig up information around a beautifully rendered, not actual Paris, but the dream of Paris, if that makes sense. And these modern controls simply make Angel of Darkness a much more fun experience to play, rather than, struggling like you would have done back in the year 2000. Now, this is a pretty short review, as in the gameplay is still the same. Angel of Darkness is pretty much the exact same, only with better controls, making it a better experience. It's still a very weird game. 4, 5, and 6, I can't stress this enough, are the strange, weird versions of the Tomb Raider series. I will say that 4, 5, and 6 are probably the only Tomb Raider games with a consistent arc if that makes sense narratively. Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 are very much standalone adventures. You can pick up any one of them, not having played 1 or 2. You can pick up 3, play that whenever, and just have fun. With 4, 5, and 6, you very much have a through line with the narrative. To avoid spoilers as much as possible, Tomb Raider The Last Revelation follows a young Lara Croft in, the tutorial section while she is studying under the famous Dr. Werner von Croy. Stuff happens when she is younger that we then transition to her being in Egypt as she's an adult, and Last Revelation is the only game that fully takes place in Egypt. Every other Tomb Raider game time skips or goes around to other locations. Again, no spoilers for Last Revelation, but things happen, and then we get Tomb Raider Chronicles, which is a sort of bottle stop episode for Tomb Raider, where it's a bunch of, Laura did this, and Laura did that, and yada. So it sort of goes back to the classic Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3, where she's time hopping. She's not Carmen Sandiego here, where she's traveling the world with different adventures of people telling stories about, I remember when Laura did this. And then we finally have Angel of Darkness, which picks up where Last Revelation left off, and we continue that story. It's very strange that a Tomb Raider game finally sort of sat down and had an arc, especially with these core design games. As we know, the later Tomb Raider games by Eidos would have a through line for their trilogies. But the long and short of it is, should you pick these up? Are they good remasters? The answer is yes. Chances are, again, if you've played 1, 2, and 3, you're probably going to get 4, 5, and 6. If you're a classic Tomb Raider fan like me who grew up with these things and is now super old, you'll probably pick up these remasters. If you're a youngin' who is just discovering this series, I definitely still recommend playing these games, even though they're not the best. And again, I do have a fondness for Angel of Darkness, despite everybody else around me seeming to hate it, or at least strongly dislike it. Visually, they are good, though they do have some flaws, in my opinion, again, being too dark, some things just feeling strange with the visuals, but again, it's still a really solid job for what they did. I think the new models and the new textures and everything else to sort of make it feel like a PS2 game rather than a PS1 game is fantastic. And I think, the changes to the controls for Angel of Darkness and tweaking the bugs and fixing everything here and there is just solid work that needed to be done. We needed this for Angel of Darkness. That's really the biggest takeaway here. But now we finally do have the entire core design Tomb Raider games in a sort of modern context, and it's awesome. I never thought in a million years that we would actually get these, and if we were going to get these, they'd be done by Night Dive Studios, not Saber and Aspyr, but they did a pretty damn good job. I'd say they gave Night Dive Studios a run for their money with these. So yes, pick these up if you are on the fence. I definitely recommend it, and if you always want to, you can just wait for a sale. Plus it's like $25, and then you'll go down to like $14. Anyways, I've been Calypso, and I will see you in the next one. Happy raiding, my fellow Tomb Raiders. Happy birthday, Laura. Happy Valentine's Day.
This is Howard Carter's original exclusive, but yesterday morning, from our Egyptian correspondent, we received this.
Tutankhamun's tomb. New tunnels. I see. I've stayed in bed for less.
Our man stumbled across this new dig site. After we received the information, news reached us that he'd been found fever-ridden, hiding nearby, ranting about a new tomb.
Now you're getting interesting. Whose tomb?
Well, this is why we've called you.
I'll see you around.
Wait, you'll get nowhere without Carter's original information. He was the first to discover Tutankhamun's tomb and reported exclusively to us. His original chamber layouts and notes lie in the relevant issues in our archive room, invaluable to the Tomb Raider.
Quite. And where are these archives? Time to finish what Carter started.